Well, hey, my friends, Catherine from CatherinePooler.com. If the composition background stamp doesn't remind you of school days, I don't know what does, but we are loving this background stamp and we created some companion products. So we have the Composition Sentiments stamp set, the Composition Label dies, and then the Spiral Notebook die. So this Composition Notebook stamp set was created to be die cut with the labels here and put on top of the Composition Notebook background stamp and create a look of your school notebooks. And then we used sentiments that you may have used back in the day to create some fun greeting cards to send to your friends. Here's a cute card using the smiley face, the You're Cool, the Spiral Notebook binding, and the Composition Notebook background just as a little border there. You can use the background stamp to stamp it in white emboss and then do ink blending over the top. And here is the label die used with some of our patterned paper from the Totally Rad bundle. And then here's a shaker card I made. This is the epitome of how and why we created this to be used, but of course you can use these products in so many different ways. Now the first thing I'm going to do is stamp this background stamp. I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive here. I don't want to put my cardstock way down in the corner because then the entire background will not be stamped because it has a little bit of an edge here, and so I'm just going to adhere that like that and then close my door. I'm going to grab my Midnight ink pad, and composition notebooks come in all sorts of different colors now, but I'm going to do black because it's kind of the traditional color of a composition notebook. Our black ink pad transfers ink so beautifully to a background stamp. They're really easy to ink up. Our foam pads make it really easy. And I've got a nice dark black composition notebook background. So I'm going to set that piece aside and go to work on my label. So I'm going to stamp the label with the lines in it first. And then I'll stamp my greeting. I don't know about you, but just about every single note I wrote when I was a teenager said Lilas. Love you like a sis. So Lilas, glad we're friends. We created the sentiment set to make it look like you hand wrote this. And then I'll do a couple Be Mine hearts. Then I can take the middle composition notebook label and I will just die cut this. I'll be making this into a shaker card, so I need a large label. I need a large label die cut out of acetate, and then this is our smaller piece that will fit inside here. So we'll set these aside, and then I want stars and hearts die cuts, and we created them like this so that you could send this through your die cutting machine and get a whole bunch of cutouts at once instead of having one heart and one star that you need to die cut multiple times. So it's just quick and easy to do it that way. And then when you're using it in a shaker card, you want to go ahead and color both sides of your cardstock. So we'll just do direct to paper on here. So then when I send this through my die cutting machine, the stars and hearts will be pink on both sides. I'm going to do that with Tiki torch and with Aquatini as well. Don't forget to clean up in between so that you don't get colors on colors in places that you don't want them. There's our Aquatini. So as I was creating all of the pieces for this shaker card, I just used a little bit of purple tape to keep these two frames one inside the other, cut them out at the same time, and that gives me this. This will be for the shaker frame. But then I realized that I had cut out a large piece and then a small piece, and I was going to layer them on top like that. But that's not really necessary. It's kind of an extra step. I can just stamp right on there. So I guess we're going to be making two cards, everyone. So we'll set that one aside and we'll get to working on the shaker piece. So I'm just going to add a little glue right around my frame. I always try to be really careful with frames like this because I don't want so much glue that it's going to smush out the sides, because then it'll get on your acetate and make a smudge. So just kind of smooth that out a little, thinned it out. And we'll just add that right to the acetate. And then I have these Derice foam adhesive strips. They're really nice because they're super thin and they've got a really nice height for a shaker card. So I'm just going to add this all the way around the edge of my frame. So now I have all of my pieces and it's time to fill up my shaker card. And usually I use my quick stick, which is a really great tool. But y'all, I have found another tool. It's called the Jewel Picker. It's got a bigger side and a smaller side. And I like this tool a lot, so I've been using this. And I'll just grab some of my stars and hearts. And, you know, I did both sides of the stars and hearts because when you have this inside the shaker card, they'll kind of flip back and forth. And so you want to make sure one side does not show white. And then I thought Big Sur would be a really cool mix to put in here as well. And yeah, I think that's good. So let's add that to the top. And there we go. So now to finish off the card, I'm just going to add the composition notebook background to my card base. So I did not cut this down. It is the full size of a card front. And then this little black binding that you typically see on composition notebooks, we'll just add a little piece. This is 3/4 by 5.5 inches. And that will just get added to the side here. And then this fun little shaker element will just get added right where the label would be on a composition notebook. So there is a typical use of these products. So fun. And then here is another look at the other one I did, and I just used a different color palette in here. I did Fiesta Blue, Melon Ice, and Rockin' Red, and then Vegas Baby Sequins, and I think it looks really fun. I did a smaller little piece here. I think this is maybe 1/2 inch or a little bit less than that, as opposed to the 3/4 inch piece. And then now we got to take this Lilas Glad We're Friends and dress it up. So for this card, let's have a little fun with the background. I'm going to do Tiki Torch in the center, and then Be Mine up at the top. I'm overlapping the colors just a little bit, and then we'll do Aquatini. Now right here I have a little bit of some harsh lines, so I don't have nice blending between the two, so I'll just buff it out with my ink blending brush, and then we will stamp this down. I think I want to do a little bit more Tiki Torch in the center here, make that a little bit brighter. Oh yes. I think I'm going to do a little more Be Mine just up at the top and a little more Aquatini just at the bottom. I think it's really interesting. The color I'm getting right here, this olive, I didn't expect that. That's one thing I love about our inks. When you ink blend them, sometimes you get really unexpected colors. Oh, that looks fantastic. So I've got a great rainbow going on here. So I'll just add the composition background piece to my card front. I have a little piece of black cut out here. This is a little less than 1/2 inch wide. Could also do the binding with one of the coordinating colors, just do a little direct to paper and add it on. And then I have my little label, and we'll pop it up there. And we can be done like this, or maybe we want to embellish a little more. So I'm going to add a little heart there and maybe a star. And maybe a little star in Aquatini. I don't have a small star in Aquatini, so maybe we're going to do a big one. So whether you make a fun shaker card or just add traditional layers on your composition notebook, you're going to make some really fun cards with this bundle of products, and you're going to be proud to send them to your friends. All of these items will be available in our shop a la carte, so you can pick and choose, or you can buy the whole bundle and enjoy a discount. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you again on the next video.